Welcome back to another daily tutorial on making drawings on your phone using the Paintology app. And this app is available from the Google Play Store. Currently only available for the Android, but hopefully soon to do the Apple. But right now just for Android. So what's the app all about? Another drawing app, you probably say. If you're new to this, you will probably ask these simple questions, and rightfully so. And the thing is, take a look at this drawing as an example. Uh, can you actually figure out if this was done digitally or not? And then you'd probably say, no, it doesn't look digital. It looks traditional to me. Well, in fact, it was actually done traditionally on my phone, the one you're looking at right now, Samsung Note, using the Paintology drawing app. And you ask yourself, well, this is image manipulation, obviously. Again, you're wrong. This is not an image manipulation. This is drawing with your hand using the available brush. In fact, I use the line brush, and making this drawing based off a reference image of the original by Ferdinand and I forgot his name, and Andrew Kalami. His name is the 1856 circa 1861, I believe. This was done. So it's hanging on the National Gallery in London. So it's a very famous painting. But did a twist on this. I originally did manipulate the image on GIMP, and then I transferred the original image to make my drawing here by hand. Okay, you're probably jumping, thinking, there it is, manipulate, there is it. Everyone just jumps to conclusion. God knows why. Think before you conclude. That's the problem with a lot of this world, is that we're quick to gratification, quick to anything, quick to drawing, quick to maths, quick to English, all so that we can have our end satisfaction. If you're not going to put the time in, what's the point? Given this body, mind to develop our skills, you should, feel proud you have that so you can learn. So this is something that I do. I don't come from a traditional background, but I come from a technology background, so I'm pretty good in all kinds of technology, especially in back-end web development, infrastructure. I work with big companies, Nike, Harley Davidson, you name it. These big companies as a as a consultant in infrastructure and enterprise management systems. And here I am making these humble drawings that are so pleasing. The reason I do this is because it is so pleasing, and that's the reason I'm trying to show you how pleasing it is. So let me go and show you a few sites. First of all, few resources. You want to go to paintology.com and then bookmark this page, and then go down a bit and you'll see this button, daily step-by-step video tutorials. I've got this here, sorry. And then go down and you'll come across this page. You'll see two live stream, Paintology streams, Fidoo streams. So we're at 26th November and we're bathers at La Grenouillère by Claude Monet. This is a painting by Claude Monet that we're going to do. So the reference image is there. So I'm going to download this, long press, and then you can see the part 1 Paintology HMT right now, and that's what I'm at. And you can see the next one. It's broken in two parts. Part 2 and 9 GMT. So I usually take 5-10 minutes break, and then I finish the drawing in an hour in the next session. Okay, so let's look at the list here. It's a long list of previous daily tutorials I've done. It goes back to October. Yeah, so you can see the completed drawings. This one, Edgar Degas, the star. That was done on the phone. This is the Mona Lisa. So I've been focusing on the great master series, meaning some of the greatest painters of our time, of the last generation, last centuries. Monet. Monet wasn't in this list, so I did this. Then I did all these other ones. Menacing Fox. This was challenging, but I managed to finish it 2 sessions, just under 2 hours. Kandinsky, there you are. This is the famous abstract painter, Russian painter Kandinsky. All these completed drawings you'll see. So the idea is to teach you techniques. It's not about tools. Just keep in mind, if you want to draw impressively like this, where people can mistake your art with nothing but art, right? And which the way it should be, you should start using less of the digital tools. Okay, so please bookmark this page, and then I'd like you to also follow me on this page. It's called paintology.quora.com. Okay, paintology.quora.com, and then on that page you're going to see all my update. The Paintology.Quora falls under my profile, obviously. You can follow me there. You can see I've got 2,289 followers. You just have to note my name and follow me, and then you can see I'm an admin of Paintology. And so all the posts, yeah, look at this one as well. Isn't that lovely? This one of Unmistakable Cafe Terrace by Vincent van Gogh. And then this was Turner. This was an interesting one. I actually, halfway through, I lost the trace image. So I did the block coloring, lost the trace image, because the reason I lost it was because my phone streaming had an issue. And so I needed to move to another device. So the only thing I could take to my other device was the block coloring, which was a crude. Let's look at it a little bit more. No, I didn't put down the crude image, the block, and I had to do it by eye, looking at looking at the whole of Turner's Salisbury Cathedral by the river on another device while I drew that. Basically, copying that, So that's what I was doing here. So copying, I don't know why people go copy. What do you want to? How can you do something if you've got no skills? Right? You're saying I should draw from imagination and all that. Obviously, yeah, do that, but acquire the fundamental, essential skills of painting and drawing, art techniques. Otherwise you'll stop at a particular level and not go beyond that. Do you think the skills come by magic as you keep doing it, by brute force? It's not the case. You have to learn the techniques. And great masters like Van Gogh, they all went to training, all had teaching methods, aids, tracing, camera obscura. They all had that in order to fine tune their skills. So did Picasso. Oh yeah, that means I need to include a Picasso painting. I think I'll leave that for tomorrow. This is a lovely one, isn't it? So this was all done on the phone. So if I want to show you, I'll show you my artwork. So this is typically the phone. Not typically, this is the phone that I use to make the drawing. You can see here. And the reason why you can make such intricate, impressive drawings is because you got the zoom and rotate, which I'll show you. It's not a simple app. If you've come here and dived straight into the draw section, you're making a big mistake. You should go to tutorials and I'll show you that in a short while. So this is kind of drawing that you can make. Look, one on the phone. There's one. Photorealistic. I actually made this drawing freehand. I didn't use a trace method. This one, the famous Marchiello, did one on the tablet. He used a bunch of utensils, airbrush, pens, brushes, felt tip, to get all the realism into his. And I did it with my own tablet, Samsung tablet. He's showing you how. You can see a video of that actually. So I won't go into too much detail. Plenty of examples of the YouTube channels for you to go with. Loads of YouTube channels, videos that you can check out. And they're all designed to teach you techniques. So just keep that in mind. If you've come here looking for the same mindset, the same beginner's mindset that you take from the other places and apply to here and then make a comparison, you're totally barking up the wrong tree and you're going to miss out on valuable opportunity to learn techniques. So let me show you. This is the drawing that I opened up in my painting. So I'm going to exit the drawing. So my paintings is where you save your paintings. Yeah, I was practicing with actually doing a freehand of Monet's style drawing, and then I'm getting there. So my idea is that eventually I'm going to actually show you post-impressionistic drawing based off of a real image that you can turn into a post-impressionistic. Yeah. So this is again, second thing is this is not an image manipulation, as I'm going to emphasize that. This is a complete drawing that I've done using my hand, okay? And then when you come to the home page, which is here, click on tutorials. Do not go straight to the draw thinking it's got to be like my other bed. If you buy a new bed, do you have the same expectation as the other bed? Yeah. And then you said no, it's not hard enough, soft enough, or anything like that. That's not a good example, but there are many examples I use. Like for example, you want to hire a carpenter, you base his skills on the tools he possesses as opposed to his craftsmanship and workmanship. That's a better analogy. It's the same thing here. You don't judge on based on tools. If you're tool driven, your drawing will always appear digital art. I can guarantee that. But if you look at mine, it's not, is it? So there's a paint by numbers, and there's a good reason why they're at the top. You should start off doing the whole collection of paint by numbers. Many for you to browse. Yeah, many for you to do. Like for example, this one, right? So with this, we can use the trace to help you. This is in the trace mode, and then we can use the color picker and get the red. So I'm going to go to line brush. I was testing out some brushes. There's a line, so I can go to there. This is I'm picking out the colors. Let's see, and then adding this, and I can change it. Look, I can take it all the way down. See how far I can take it down. There. And then I'm putting the black here. Using so, and then pick the color picker. And that's what I'm going to show you here. I did that. This is my own drawing. That's on my canvas here. Do you see how I did that? That's in principle what I do with the block coloring that I initially start off with, and then I start refining it. And this method of painting and drawing is so lovely. It's very reassuring, honestly. So lovely. You can just go here. Okay. Don't worry about getting it right. Now click the color again. This is principally the block color, and there's many examples like this. Think of it like paint by numbers on steroids. Yeah. I'm obviously quick because I've done this before, right? With the color picker that you want. Remember, when you go to the blue, you need to pick that blue color here, the blue here, right? Put that down first, and then let's get the pupil here, the color of the pupil, and then let's get the color of the black for the eyebrows. Take it down because it has to be the right size. There. And then let's do the nostrils. Look how quickly that was done, yeah? And then all it is do this big color there. Very easy. Fill that in. This teaches you drawing skills. This teaches you drawing skills because you gotta do the shape, you know, exactly according. I'm doing it very quick. It's rather crude, but look, I'm getting close to it, isn't it? It's better than what most people would do in the time allocated, but that's how you improve your skills. And through block coloring, you'll also increase your tone understanding. You've probably heard of that. Tones and values. It's a very common term used in the art world, and not many people understand it. But when it comes to explaining in digital and in block coloring, which I will show you, you will come to understand it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go open up the drawing that we're going to do. This is the beautiful Monet painting. Bathers at Angle. Oh, it's such a difficult word. I'm not going to pronounce it. But anyway, you can see this is a part of the landscape. It was made in landscape, but since I'm painting in portrait, I needed to crop it. So let's look what we have here. We've got a beautiful image, post-impressionistic painting by Claude Monet. You know, this is we're completely to the right, which means we're viewing the reference image in its entirety. Yeah, none of the trace, even though we're on a trace. Okay, so let's look at it close up. It's wonderful brush strokes. Look at the pressure. He doesn't even care about the colors. He's just basically giving the impressionism of the person and the impressionism of the wonderful river. You see? Impression with brushstrokes. Clearly brushstrokes that he has imagined, and these bathers on the left. Yeah? So how are we going to do this? Well, I can think of ways to do this, and I'm also doing this for another purpose, which is for me to, in time with practice, to be able to look at a painting or photo and then turn it into like a Monet type style painting. I'm sure some of you are gonna like that. So when I'm looking at this in terms of block coloring, I'm thinking what colors can I transfer to my canvas, like I showed you earlier, to my canvas. And I'm thinking I can transfer a lot of these, the blues here, right, first. So I'm going to transfer a lot of the underlying colors. There's a brown and there's another color that he used here for the boat, the woman, the trees, the bathers there under the trees, right? So we're going to select a brush size that we'll be comfortable with. We'll stick to the line brush. Let's take it to about 8%. Let's see if that brush size meets our needs. I think it does. Right? I think in the half an hour, you saw the speed at which I work. I'm going to transfer these blocks of color from that size all the way to our drawing. So I go halfway as I did before and then pick these colors. That's all I'm going to do. And this is easy. You should do that as well. This is a lovely way of painting and drawing. See, I'm not transferring I'm doing it by hand. It's not an AI tool. If you're interested in AI, you're naturally not interested in developing painting skills. So you'd be better off with other tools. But here, this is showing you how to develop these skills that you may have always battled with when you were young, but never really understood it. And now you can. So the problem is many of you have somehow buried painting and drawing under the carpet for many, many years with the understanding that takes someone has to be born with some of you that is, to be born with a pencil in their mouth, and others say it's just, others rightfully or correctly say it's a skill that I don't fully understand, therefore I'm not, I'm doing it because it's something I don't have the time for. That's that's being realistic and true to yourself. But when you say it's a skill that I will never have, you're being, because I don't have what it takes, you're being a little dishonest with yourself. And the reason why you're dishonest with yourself is you learn. You didn't give the opportunity to learn. If you don't learn, what's the point of, why would you want to say you don't have what it takes? Any skill can be learned. I've proven that. I've got a multitude of skills beyond painting and drawing. I've just shown you. I spent all my life technology. In fact, if you're talking about digital art, I'm a very advanced user of Photoshop. And then you're wondering, why the hell is he painting that? Well, man, Photoshop is not the way I would paint. I'm a traditional artist. I've done that, and I paint like this. So I'm bringing traditional artistry on board here. Right? I'm not going to use that beast, Photoshop beast, to do that. I use it for other things, but not for drawing. It was designed to serve the online demand for art, in web graphics, logos, you name it. It wasn't designed for people who love drawing like this. So when tablets became a little more popular, just over 10 years ago, that's when I really started to paint on the digital medium, and I thought it was so lovely. I've got very early drawings I made digitally. You'll see it if you go very to the last blog post, and you'll see it, and you'll be able to see how I drew then. It was still very much like this, a traditional way, and I made some fine drawings. I was quite happy with that. That's when I actually introduced Paintology. Yeah, you'd think, gosh, it's been that old. But in reality, I actually put it on hold and shelved the whole project for a while until a few years ago when I decided I'm going to bring it up again. And then I've been working ever since with Paintology in its 45th iteration of its release and on Google Play Store, and after hundreds of blog posts on the app, thousands of posts on the Quora space, here I am, you know. So you have to know that I'm experienced. I just don't paint, I write. In fact, you'll see a novel of mine on the home page. It's a novel called Blue, the Ancient Rock, sci-fi novel that I wrote early this year. So I picked up writing quite a big way early this year when I was recovering from an illness, and took some time out of the Paintology, but now I've been doing Paintology, really pushing it. It's now got, thanks to your support, it has 260,000 subscribers. Yep. See how I'm doing this? I'm picking out the tones of the underlying colors. So I'm not worried about the details because he's obviously put down some foundational colors, which I pointed out earlier, if you've been paying attention. And I'm doing a combination of these dark colors, but also at the same time, if you were a traditional artist, right, you just need to, it's probably the fear. I'm going to talk about this weird fear that traditional artists have over the digital medium. And some of them rally behind all these other who claim to be very knowledgeable in art, like the curators of museum. They think they're highly knowledgeable and they don't know pittance. When they talk about digital, they put down digital as having no soul, some of them. Have you heard that one? I find it's hilarious, man. Do you think I called my AI robot and they're doing it? They're doing this right with the drawing here. Move left, move right, and I'm asleep. Move left, move right. You have no soul. Go up, go down. It's just ridiculous how people with no experience will put down another art medium without any resort to understanding it. And then some of them, I show my artwork, they still can't grapple with it. They think somehow I manipulated it. I said I'm using they don't know the creation process. They're not artists. Why they comment on it, I will not know. And why they put down digital is also something really ridiculous. And it's these people who actually try and steer traditional artists away from digital. They're the worst kind of, I would say, hypocrites in a way, who actually prevent other artists from expanding their knowledge set. I happen to be different because I am an experimentalist all my life. If I take a skill, I'll take it to great heights, I tell you. Take my dancing skill, salsa dancing. I've entered international competition in the last 15 years ago when I was super fit, super. So you can see if you pick up something and take it to a huge, great level, and then this is nothing, and I've got so many other stuff under my belt in terms of ability. You know, you'd probably be. My daughter calls me the Leonardo da Vinci of the modern world. She's 9 years old, by the way. So you can see what I'm doing here, right? I'm not doing any image manipulation. As sadly, a woman came along and said, "This is a great image manipulation, image editing tool. Wonderful." And I'm saying, and you know, in a way, in one single sentence, she compliments and then she takes it away. One single sentence. I'm thinking, did you actually see what I actually did? You actually see how I made this drawing before you make some remarks like that. You have to see that. You see how I'm picking out the different colors automatically. You see that? In this time, look how much I've done talking as I'm doing this. That's one of my goals. Look how much I've done. See how quickly, so quickly put down the first wash of the colors. We just kind of carry on doing this because it makes a change from socializing, isn't it? Look how people rush to Facebook, rush to Twitter to make comments, you know, they're following the crowd, quick to judge, quick satisfaction, interest in their areas, only a consumer of this capitalistic system. They only consume information, they don't regurgitate trivial thoughts. They never really focus on, go under the hood, detail, deep. They're willing to just say one simple thing and then get agitated, frustrated, and then it's just like a spiral of anxiety, anxiousness, you know, race to see what the other person has said or replied. You know, the drawing, you take your time out, man. Look at that. You're in a world of your own. And it's such a wonderful feeling when you're doing something completely opposite what the world is, getting too much immersed in the world. So that's why games have got popular, obviously, but then games are not really designed to teach you something, is it? They just consume your time as well. They're addictive. I'm actually very concerned about how addictive the YouTube Shorts are. I've tried it. Exceptionally addictive, I tell you. My daughter can spend, if I'm not too careful, she can spend the entire day just glued to it. So obviously I limit her time on that. And if you're a parent, you should definitely limit. Do not give them free access to a phone. Trust me, you'll regret it if you later in life when they grow up, because they're, first of all, they usurp all their time watching YouTube Shorts, and they're not doing creating anything or learning anything. I mean, they learn what they say. That's why it becomes a very society driven on what they say, what he says, what she says. You know, just a world driven by that. So you just do this. See, it's a bigger brush. Obviously, I could do with a smaller brush, but I'm not doing it that way. I want to lay down the bigger brush, and I told you I have another purpose of this drawing, because I want to find if I can paint a real photograph, and this is a smaller brush. This requires a smaller brush, and I'm going to try and see if I'm going to do that, since then I don't have to double my work. So I'm going to do up to here and then show you what I've got, and then I'm going to show you how, because I've done many paintings like this. I'm going to show you what I have here. You see I've got the boat. Let me do this fourth quarter using a smaller brush, and then you can see the difference. Okay, let me take a smaller brush so I can pick up some of this wonderful detail. Right, so just like a block coloring, but with a smaller brush. Let me take it half of that. Rule of thumb is always go to half when you're right. Have you noticed that any YouTuber you have gone to and seen will start off with a broad brush, and then they start switching to tiny details. They broad brush to lay down the primary colors of and then they start working on that. It's exactly the same thing. This is not a bad brush, so let me show you what you can do even at this. So you see, let me show you. Then you can really go to the tone. This really expands your knowledge of tones, because now you can see that colors are made by tones. You know, I'd love to do the traditional and do a Monet style type painting. Why not? Maybe I'll get to a level. I've got a lot of traditional art hanging on people's wall. Maybe I'll be able to sell it. Maybe you want to buy some of my artwork that I'm going to produce when I maybe get a studio, hopefully, if I can get Paintology off the ground. See how I'm doing that? Picking these lovely little tones, so I'm getting more of those details that will capture on this quarter pane that I'm doing. And see that? Look, it's dark there. And I still got a bigger brush. Look at this here. I'm going to put that yellow. And then I'm going to go for that black. You see that? There. Right. Then pick another tone. I always pick the color picker because you obviously changed it up. You see the different colors? They don't look black. You know, he's created the effect of the water. So the whole idea of this grandmaster painting was get into the mindset of these world-renowned artists and see what they did with their strokes. Yeah. So now it's got a little dark brown here. See, not completely black. I'm doing very well for time. So I hope you're following me as well. See, color picker gives me the color. So how does it work? Well, every time I pick the color picker and put my stylus down here, it's pick that particular color below that point there. Pick that particular color. That's all it is. Very simple, nothing complicated. Don't complicate the issue. Keep it simple. Right? Everyone wants to turn to tools, and then when they start becoming dependent on the tools, what happens? They can't get away from not using the tools. I haven't learned the technique, so you can see, have I picked any? Have I picked any tools? Most of the time I'm spending drawing. That's the sheer fun of painting and drawing. And look, I'm doing it on digital. Some of you will say, well, it doesn't feel like doing in pencil. And then when I started digital compared to traditional, at first, yeah, that was my first. That's the problem, is that you have prejudiced thinking because you're going into a different medium, so you don't know what to expect. And then I found the best way to prevent these prejudiced thinking and that holds people back, honestly, is to not have any preconceptions when you move to another medium. I've painted in acrylic, oils, charcoal, pencils, watercolors, and made impressive drawings. If I'll show you one of my paintings hanging on the wall. Tradition. This one, look. That's it. This is inspired by Monet. This was completely my own. And see, this is my traditional artwork inspired by Monet. And then there's this one, digital, I did many years ago. The Blue Mosque in Turkey. There's another one, again digital, but you can do a lot. I head back here. So we're doing this, just to remind you that we're doing this. See how these colors change? We're doing this fourth segment quarter, using this much smaller brush. We were using 8% before, but now we're using. So picking out tones. Obviously it's not behaving quite like a brush. It's in fact picking out exact colors at that level, at this tiny level. Right? It's not mixing with the other colors, if that's what you're thinking. Just a color that is the color of that region that I picked up, like this here, and then I'm going to pick this up here. Not really, just following the essence of the shape, and then mix here, and then I can see another tone here. So you just follow your eyes. You can see they're white tones. See how he did it? There's blue tones here, and then some degree of white tone here. You see how the colors change? If you look at this color palette, you'll be so surprised with the number of tones you picked up. That's the reality of the illusion of 3D. To tap the real world is all a bunch of tones. See these colors there? It makes sense that I'm going to do that with the same tone because it looks like the same tone. And then here I'm leaving out the light colors. Here, the light colors, right? And then mid color here, and then another light color here. Right? Makes sense that that's the way I should do it. That's how I managed to reproduce photorealistic drawings because of that level of detail and tones. And if you're thinking, well, don't use trace or anything, again, you're losing the point. Trace is to help you to appreciate methods here, the techniques that you need to develop first before you can do any kind of creations. That's what they'll teach you at school, isn't it? And you might think I'm just gonna doodle all my life, and that's fine. And then, but don't come and tell me that this is a skill that only belongs to people who are born with a brush in their mouth. See the tones here? Lighter. See how I managed to cover all the areas so quickly. I've just got a little bit more to do. See that brown there? Beautiful. I mean, there's obviously a bit more detail, but I'm just capturing the essence. See that color there? Right there. All done by hand and not edited like she likes to think, that woman. Where am I editing? It's all done by hand. It's wonderful. Wonderful experience. You should try it. Much better than clicking a button and saying, oh, I fill this color, fill this space. You really do pick up a lot of skills if you keep practicing this way, and art skills, and very quickly too. I can't think of any other quicker method of learning to draw than in the digital. And it's not hard. Everyone of their views, ooh, it's very hard, and then they'd start talking about in terms of Photoshop. Obviously, it's hard. It's a bloody beast, man. That software. I don't know why anyone would recommend a beginner to do that, because I'm pretty proficient in software applications, and that was a beast when I first tried it many, many years ago. And it just was so unintuitive. I still think still got a lot to learn, even though I know a lot of the tools. It's just a plain beast of an app. If you want to get, my advice, if you want to get put off by digital, and that's probably where the difficulty, challenges arose when it comes to digital, why everyone coined it as difficult. It's because of this beast of softwares. And there's probably no reason why many choose not to take it up. But if you're painting like this, surely this must remind you of traditional. Oh yeah, the other point is when people talk about, oh yeah, I was saying when you get, just a little bit here. Let's see our quarter segment, what that looks like. Isn't that great, isn't it? It doesn't look like the whole thing. So we're just going to finish this bit off. And then we're going to look at that. We're spot on time, and it gives me a chance to explain what I was saying earlier about moving from one medium to another. So I'm a bit different. I'm not like many artists. I can do I'm actually very good at drawing as well as painting. And I have also experience in different mediums. So I don't stick to one medium. I am experimentalist, and that really does open your eyes. That's the reason why some people who stay in one medium, for example, oils, can't do watercolors. Similarly, people who stick to watercolors don't want to do anything else, which is a little sad because they've become so comfortable and embedded in it. And then when it comes to digital, oh God, I can't feel the pencil and paper. It says, why are you talking about the new medium in the same way as your old medium? Obviously, it's going to be different. Honestly, when I moved to the digital medium, I had some preconceptions, but I knew I needed to take it off, and then so I did. And then I don't think about the way I'm drawing a painting. I don't have to have that feel of the paint rolling over the canvas in my body or mind. I can. And my goal is to make a perfectly good painting that looks good. So this is what we have. See how we've got the water there, like. So we're going to take a break. It's perfect timing. And then I'm going to join you in part two. So part two, you'll find in the description of this stream that you're right on, or you could just go to that page I showed you, the page, Paintology.com, and then this stream page, yeah, and then you'll see part two there. So I look forward to you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and look forward to seeing you in about 6-7 minutes in part two of this drawing, where we're going to turn this painting into a wonderful, close to this Monet. People will look at it and say, that's a Monet. Isn't that very satisfying? All right then. So thanks for watching. I'll see you shortly. Bye.